who would also like to just browse through it later, right? We are also running live, this session live on YouTube. Sorry, my YouTube I messed up. One. All right. Thank you all for joining this session by Go to Fastlane. A quick introduction about myself. My name is Rama Goyal. I'm the founder and CEO of Go to Fastlane Inc. We're a company based out of Canada. We're based out of Greater Toronto area of Canada, and that's where I am based out of as well. We are a technology and solutions provider organization partnering right now with Cognitive Analytics in India for providing technology training to the students. Our goal right now in India region is to be able to enable the students who are coming out of engineering colleges and ensure that they can get a good career in the IT industry. Understanding the changing environment and the climate of the industry right now with this pandemic situation kind of also hitting the unemployment numbers to a record low. Our intent is to enable you with technologies which will provide you a niche in the market, right? Provide you more job opportunities and a skill set that is reusable. So our idea is to have you and explore what you can do the best, right? And also explore on those technologies which are very valuable in the market. So keeping that in mind, we came up with a course curriculum on DevOps, right? Which is very upcoming in the market with a lot of job potential and less talent in the market. So when you do not have, it's all about demand and supply, right? So where if you have more demand or more supply, right? Right now, the demand for DevOps is increasing, whereas the supply is still limited. So what we are trying to do over here is bridge that gap between the demand and increasing demand and low supply and enable students like you and others to learn this technology, get verifiable certificates, be able to practice a project before you get into the market and then go into the market, right? While doing that, what we do with you is also not only that we teach you several technologies that you see listed on the slide over here, but we also provide you help in getting placed. We also provide you help in understanding how this technology works end to end by doing a capstone project, right? In addition, we provide you some resume writing support, on the job support, which all of this, you will get to know more once you get the details of this course, right? So let's jump right into the slides over here. I'm joined by Prashant, who is our principal technology trainer for this course, and he will be your trainer who will take you through all these difficult concepts of DevOps. We also have Pranav, who will be your senior technology trainer and one of your support staff to actually lead you through any issues that you may face in your journey. So this program is currently carved out to span for about 3 months, starting 15 December. So yeah, it's like 3 days from now, right? It's your opportunity to grab your seat right now. And do not worry, if you are not able to join on 15 December, we have an a la carte pricing option, which will let you join a little later for the modules that you like, right? And we'll talk about those modules a little shortly. So quick introduction of Prashant. Prashant is a reputed technology trainer in the space for a few years now. He has been working in the IT industry for several years, having demonstrated his experience and knowledge in several multinational organizations in India and in India, and will be able to take you through this course and journey for 3 months. I'm very confident that you're in safe hands once you join this course with Prashant, and I'm sure you'll feel the same way. So thanks, Prashant, for offering your help to take this course with us, and jumping right into the slides over there. All right, we'll start with the learning roadmap. What you will learn in this course, right? And what is it that's lined up for you? And we're very open to understanding if there are any prerequisites that you do not know and you would like us to cover. This is a brief of how the learning roadmap for you will look like, right? So when we sat back and started to work on a curriculum for DevOps, what came to our mind was, what is it that a student or a participant or a learner who wants to get into a DevOps space will need? So what we did is we did a lot of data mining, working with the industry experts who actually are already working on DevOps related projects, right? Who are implementing this DevOps as a framework and as a technology solution in the organizations across the world. So we conducted some surveys in US, Canada, and South Africa to see what do you need? to be successful as a DevOps engineer, as a DevOps consultant. If you are someone who is starting fresh from engineering college, the best course of action would be to become a DevOps engineer. Once you have gained about 4 to 5 years of experience, you are best routed to become a DevOps consultant who can also provide some expert advice on the technology selection. Right? Once you are about 10 years into this industry, then the career path is about becoming an architect, right? Also, who is also tagged along with several other concepts in a more expert fashion. For example, cloud skills. You can be an AWS certified consultant, right? Who knows DevOps as well. So there are different parts of certifications, and we'll go through it in an individual personal counseling session. So what you can do after this session, after this webinar, is write to us and we will schedule a personal counseling session, which will help us understand where you are, right? What your scores are, where you are in your curriculum right now in your engineering colleges, where you are in your, if you're already working, where you are in your career path. Do you have any development goals set up already with your management that we need to work around? Or what is it that you're looking for? Having understood all that about you, because it's going to be different for every person. What you will see in the webinar today is going to be very generic in order to make it very customized for you, so that every individual who participates in this course with us gets benefited. Reach out to us, write to us, call us. We will be able to help you with individual guidelines. There could be some modules over here which are not very relevant to you, or which are more relevant to you. Right, so we can work around those and see how we can make this training program very productive and efficient and relevant to you. So what I'm going to walk you through over here is a very generic concept of our core, our outer shell of the training curriculum. If there are tweaks needed, that's going to be very personal, right? So our outer shell of the curriculum, a proposed learning path, which will get you started in a DevOps and industry, starts with concepts of Java. During our research, we also found that Java is a skill that we all know that we need to know, right? But we might not be very good in Java as much as we think. So we are offering, freebie over here to get you started with Java. If you know some basics of Java, we will help you get to those concepts that will help you get through the entire course, right? So we will let you practice Java enough to be able to get through a DevOps course. So there is no cost to exploring things, right? So go ahead and write to us so that we can share more details of how this course will help you, how maybe this Java curriculum itself will help, right? And you want to stop after doing Java and cloud concepts because you're able to find a good job. Fantastic, right? So come talk to us so we can explore we can explore your career path, and we can help you understand how it matches with our line of thought of where we are. So back to the generic learning path that we have, we'll start with the concepts of Java. For those who are lacking Java skills, we will get you some training on the prerequisites needed in Java, core Java concepts, followed by advanced Java concepts. Next, what is very important for you is to understand the cloud concepts. Over here, we'll focus on Amazon concepts. We'll give you tidbits of Microsoft and Google, not in very detail. This whole chain is going to be mainly focused on Amazon String, right? Followed by a third module, which is on CI/CD pipeline. So this particular module is pretty technical, and these two modules, right? CI/CD pipelines, DevOps, Dockers, Kubernetes, containerization concepts of virtualization, network security. All these are pretty technical concepts, and we want to be sure that you are ready before you get into third and fourth module. So we will work with you on the prerequisites, and then you work with us on the core technical concepts so that we can together complete a good capstone project. So once you have understood these concepts of how the CI/CD framework works, right, how DevOps works, what are the different tools behind these technologies, we will give you a good idea of databases, right? As part of a la carte pricing, you can also club different modules, what you like to learn, right? That will let you learn, hey, I'm very good in databases. Can I go ahead and sit in some sessions for databases and understand how relational and non-relational databases work? Absolutely. Reach out to us so we can explore that option on what time is best for you, right? What is needed as a prerequisite? We might suggest that you do 3 classes before databases so you get a continuation of what is being taught in the database classes, and you're also able to pick up the capstone project. Right. In the databases section, we are going to focus both on the relation and non-relation databases from an overview perspective, right? But we'll go deep into DynamoDB or MongoDB. Again, given how the students or participants of the class would like to, our trainers are very flexible to adapt that way. We will also have a session around GitHub, source code management, Jenkins. Again, based back to our research, which we did in US and Canada on the skill set that is needed for a DevOps engineer to be successful, GitHub was a leading winner. I know it's not a leading winner on the Gartner or any other framework sites, but it's a leading contender whenever recruiters are looking for the skill set to be hired. So that's where we thought that it's relevant for all of you to learn what is needed in the market. Right? It's one thing to keep learning, that's great, but it's very important to be able to earn our livelihood out of what we learn. So GitHub and Jenkins is going to get you there. And then a quick overview of the front-end components, mainly around JavaScript, is going to help you put all this together into a package that you can deliver and take to your recruiters as a project written in your resume. At this point, we'll also help you draft whatever you have studied with us in the last 3 months, right? So understand this journey is for 3 months, right? For about 2 to 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours every day with the principal technology trainer and 2 to 3 hours every day with the senior technology trainer. So again, we are very flexible over here. If you think you already know how to do the trainings, how to do the assignments, go ahead, do it on your own. But we are available to help, right? Our senior technology trainers and our support staff is there to help you. The idea is that at the end of these 3 months, you do have a good project report in your hand that you can use in your resume. So we will help you craft some good content on how this project report can be put together in a resume such that it justifies what you have done and also attests the certificates that you'll be carrying along with yourself. These modules are not very fixed. Sometimes we have observed that students like to do first module and a fifth module together. And then the trainer also feels that it gets more continuity into before entering into the CI/CD pipeline concepts. Great, we will do it that way. So first, second, fifth, 3, 4, this is how the modules can be shuffled around. So it depends again from batch to batch, what people prefer, what is the preference and what is the level of skill of each batch. What we also do as part of this curriculum is that we do constantly evaluate you. Every 2 weeks, you will have an exam with us, which will tell you what you know and what you do not know, right? So what is important is for you to work on things that you do not know and work on those with our trainers. So our trainers are available to help understand what your weaknesses are, right? What your weak opportunity areas in the technology are, and let's close those gaps. It's good for us over here to know the gaps instead of recruiters finding those gaps for you. So I think
Ma'am, I have a question. Ma'am, I'm a second-year student and I'm being introduced to Java before. So I just want to know, how will DevOps help me in building up my career?
May I request you to park your question to the end? Okay, thank you. Since we are going live, I would strongly recommend that we just come to a logical point before we ask questions. Okay, moving to the next slide, which is on the infrastructure of where we are hosting these trainings. So these trainings are going to be hosted online. Our trainers are online. I think pandemic has taught all of us one thing. It has taught us that we can actually work very successfully in a virtual world. People are able to easily execute projects worth billions of dollars working remotely. People are able to conduct and learn from the trainings working on executing them virtually. And that's what we are going to do. These trainings are going to be conducted online, virtually. The batch starts from 15th of December. They're going to be conducted virtually. However, we also have a facility. This is the facility that we have in Nagpur, where students can go and do some trainings and assignments themselves. We also have an office in Nairobi, Kenya, with our educational partners. Typically, we do not recommend people to come to any of our locations at this point of time. But yes, you have the facility. Go ahead and explore yourself. Go meet your friends there. Go meet people out there. Talk to them. Anytime, very invited. These are the quick links of what we have where we are present on the internet. You can explore us on YouTube. We do have our several videos from our previous sessions, which are on the cloud. If any one of you is not very competent in cloud, what you can do is you can actually go through our videos. We have very good framework and cloud overview sessions on basics of cloud, IaaS, SaaS, and PaaS as well. We also have some case studies on cloud, which will help you understand how the concepts of cloud work. There is no harm in accessing this content. So go ahead and read that content. People have found it very useful. Likewise, there are videos on YouTube channel for networking concepts that might be very interesting for some of you. We have some videos on augmented reality. Those are really fun to watch. So go ahead and explore for yourself what we have to offer on the internet for all of you. And there are some contact addresses just to build some credibility and trust with this team over here. Lastly, our email addresses. Reach out to us at info@gotofastlane.ca. We are available on both the domains. There's no need to get confused over there. support@gotofastlane.com. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Prashant. But before that, I'll take some questions that we had so far. Yes, please. Can we take some questions now, Abhi?
Yes, Rama. I think somebody asked that. Can you repeat your questions?
Sir?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So I'm a second year engineering student and I have been introduced to Java before. So I just wanted to know, how will DevOps help me in building up my career?
Certainly. Prashant, do you want to take this question? With your experience, I think you'll be able to provide a very good case to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure, Rama. So I think the thing is that, see, Java is just one technology which is used. So we are not denying the fact that Java has its own significance in getting you a job, but DevOps is one of the ways in which the industry is moving, because it's a way to develop software. So develop software very fast and take it to production. So just by the knowledge of Java and very good expertise of Java, you may find jobs, but right now, many of the companies either have already adopted the DevOps practices or they are in the process of deploying or using DevOps practices. And what this course provides you is a way to open that whole new job segment, because the same practices practically can be applied for Java-based project, a .NET-based project, a Python-based project, because I already saw another question on as to, why we are not using Python. So as Rama already explained, I will try to tackle both questions. One, which was around that if you already know Java, how is this course helping you? So as I said, and based on the analysis done in Canada and the North American market, and even in India, by the way, DevOps market is picking up, and it is having those skills help the probability of getting a job increases immensely because of you knowing those concepts. Because today, as we said, even cloud concepts are being covered. So same way, just like DevOps, even cloud helps you, because every company is trying to adopt cloud. We have looked at CI/CD pipeline, which is one of the critical aspects of DevOps. So you need to go through this journey to understand how it significantly improves your knowledge around a software development lifecycle, which was earlier a waterfall or then became agile, and now DevOps is the new way of development. I hope that answers your question related to how this course is going to help you. Abhi, Rama, you would like to add something?
Prashant, just addition to that, can you explain these students, like, most of them are asking the same questions, like, is it the right time for them to join this course? Because they are still in second year, they still need couple of more semester to follow. So means, like, based on your experience, as you have already explained, like, but will it be a foundation for them, or they should wait for some more time and do some other thing?
So guys, if you ask me to answer that question, of course, we have been taking these sessions or these modules. I personally have been running it for the people who are already part of corporate, because even they have a need. So if you ask me, guys, this is whatever 8 modules and a tool, like you pick up a Docker, or for that matter, even a Kubernetes, or even learning them in second year gives you time. if you ask me, you have an advantage over somebody who is already in fourth year or who is already employed, because they are being asked to learn these tools. And remember, each of these tools, whether we talk about Jenkins, whether we talk about Dockers or Kubernetes or cloud or databases, all these concepts take time to practice and get to the level of expertise that you can crack an interview. So having more number of years under your belt for doing this, taking this learning journey, is actually an advantage for the people who are in, let's say, their second semester, second year or a third year. And we are not saying it is too late for people coming from fourth year. Even they have an advantage, because they would be either already facing the the interviews, or they are going to face it very soon. So this kind of a course is kind of a beginner and opening you to this new big world of DevOps. And remember, just by attending these modules and everything, you will get a fairly good idea, but you need to practice over and above. So surely it is relevant for people coming from a second year or a third year for that matter.
Thank you, Prashant. I think, Prashant, now you can take it forward from here and guide us like now.
Yeah, so okay guys, so now we thought that we will just try to set the context, what is DevOps, because we saw the question around that. And after that, I will try to show you how powerful it is to give you a small demo also using Docker as a technology. But first, let me set the context. What is DevOps? Because you may be, some of us may have heard this term, some may not. So guys, erstwhile, we used to develop in a methodology which used to be called waterfall. Even today, there could be a company which could survive with waterfall kind of a software development model, which had a very defined stages of planning, and then doing designing, and then doing coding. So eventually this cycle in a waterfall kind of a model takes anything between 3 months to 6 months. So basically, once business has thought of a requirement in a IT world, there was a time when in 90s or even till 2000, this kind of a methodology was heavily used. Now, whether the technology changed from COBOL to it changed to C, and then to C++, and then to Java and the Pythons of the world, and .NET and Perl, Ruby, so many technologies came and have gone, but all of them eventually need a software development model. So because of the era when we were not having a time constraint, a waterfall kind of a model was working fine. And eventually it was realized that a cycle of months of development doesn't go very well with the competition. Somebody else will do it in weeks, and if you are doing the development in months, you are left behind and eventually out of business. So around 2004 or so, the agile methodology was developed by people and a manifesto came out. So what Agile tried to solve was tried to reduce the cycle of months of, let's say, the waterfall into weeks. So practically with Agile methodologies of software development, people could analyze, plan small requirements and what we call user stories, and run sprints and use Kanban boards and a lot of things you may have heard if you are ever exposed to Agile. But eventually there was a quick cycle of development, and the thing which was taking months to deploy a functionality in production, the Agile tried to reduce it to weeks. So basically maybe 2 weeks to 3 weeks time was required for a small change to go live into production. Because remember, none of our IT systems are stable in nature. They consistently need change, either because of a competition or staying ahead of competition. Like if we talk about Indian market, a Jio kind of a player comes in telecom, and suddenly Ideas and Airtels of India have to immediately come up with counter plan. So any such requirement which no more can wait for months, agile was tried Agile tried very best to reduce it to weeks. But eventually it was realized that even weeks is not sufficient. We reached an era where Amazons of the world have come and they are trying to deliver it the next day, and even now they are trying next day. Why not the same day and all, right? So we can see, as humanity, we have been becoming more and more impatient and we want everything now. So our IT systems also need to be very, very fast in deploying new requirements or whatever it comes. So eventually a methodology was developed, or it was coined, which is called DevOps. So what DevOps is all about is not even waiting for weeks. It is about as soon as your design is or whatever is ready, you keep on coding small piece, you keep on doing testing of it, and you keep on deploying. All the major companies of the world which you see, whether you see Netflix of the world, whether Amazon of the world, Google of the world, even LinkedIn, whatever sites you see, Instagram, maybe WhatsApp, all these, in the background, their IT systems are very, very agile. That is why you see new features keep getting introduced, new movies getting released immediately, and all that. So all that need a very, very continuous flow of development of your IT systems. And that is why erstwhile, there was a different world. So the dev side of the house was working on development and on the testing and on the analysis of the requirement and all that, while ops is the name given in industry to people who are taking care of production. So basically the live system to stay it up and running so that people can access, or let's say for Amazon, people can go to their website and scan for products, order it, do the payment. That is being managed by like a ops kind of a team. And there was a big silo between these two teams. With Agile, the dev side of the house was fixed. That means the development testing cycle was made faster, but the ops side was somehow left out. And the main concern of the operations team, which is taking care of production, is stability, while the development team's main motto was to develop fast. And they were not very concerned with the concern of ops. And that is why these silos were kind of causing problem even with agile practices. And eventually what DevOps did, kind of with its tools and practices and everything, they tried to club together the development side, which is the left side of the house of the software development, and the right side, which is mostly used for production and the production related systems. Together they were made into one team, and there were processes introduced to do continuously everything. So there is no more gaps of months like in waterfall, or weeks like in agile. It is actually now being tried that anytime you are ready with your development, immediately there should be some kind of testing which should happen. There should be immediately some kind of integration with all the third parties. You should be monitoring your system immediately and keep on deploying small and small piece. Even forget about 3 week cycle which agile was doing, or 2 weeks. Now there are companies which claim to do every minute few more than one, or even some companies claim to have like whatever number which you can quote per minute. Also new things are of course these would not be big bang requirements, but very small piece is being put into production and going live all the time, maybe as fast as any developer does a small line of code change. It goes through this continuous cycle and eventually gets deployed. This is what we would like you to experience as part of this project, because industry is becoming very, very competent, and it is running against time all the time. So to stay ahead of the competition, you cannot mo- any more work within the silos of development team and operations team, and kind of your development team which is doing coding, building, testing. Now this coding could be Java, coding could be Python, could be some other language, but eventually there will be relevant tools and practices that you need to follow to make your operations team also part of it, and do your packaging, do your release management. So you will get exposed to lots and lot of these concepts through the hands-on exercise and through the demo which I will be doing. So just to give you a feel of one of the packaging tool, if you have already heard about it, very good, but we thought that it's one of the very, very interesting concepts which industry came up with, which is called containerization. So we thought of taking this opportunity that rather than just showing you the slides, we would like you to just experience it also as to what DevOps brings in for you, and what this program is like. kind of giving you a small feel of how the program would be run and what you would experience through it, because we strongly believe in experiential based learning. So a lot of hands-on and everything would be there. So just to give you an idea of containerization, let's see guys, to set the context of Docker and containerization, which is one of the tool by which you can practice DevOps related story of deploying things faster. So one technology that supports us is containerization. Now, before we can go to what is containerization as part of this demo, I would like to set some context. So give me 2-3 minutes where I will try to set context with the analogy, because directly if I move to a containerization IT world solution, you may feel that where is the, what is the value it is bringing. So just to give the analogy, like in shipping industry, there were different kind of, let's say, the things which were needed to be put from one place to another. So it could be as simple as some kind of a fragile product like a piano versus a car versus something like a oil barrel. And remember, as part of taking the cargo from one location to other, it could go through multiple modes of transportation, whether railway, whether a truck, whether a forklift, or whether a ship or a air. So you may feel as to why I'm giving this example, because very soon I will connect this to the IT industry also. A similar problem was being faced by IT industry. But before we come to IT, let's see how transport industry tried to solve it with all these permutation combinations of different kind of product and nature of the product versus different kind of a transportation mean on the way from location A to location B. The containers actually change the whole thing. Okay, so if we must have all seen a container behind a truck or on a train or on a ship, a cargo ship for that matter. How this container provides you is, it provides you an encapsulated environment inside which you can practically load one car, or you can load like hundreds of barrels. And eventually, once you have put everything, kind of close the door, you can practically much more easily, you can take this ship, or let's say this container, from one location to another across these modes of transport without worrying too much about. Consider that rather than having whatever the good we are talking about inside this container, if that needs to be individually handled, you have a much bigger problem, because each product has a different nature. It could be fragile, it could get dented like a car, versus if it is in this environment. So now taking this analogy to IT world, okay, how does this cargo industry example connected to containers of IT world? In IT world also, the problem is similar. We could have different kind of OS, or we could have different kind of hardware, or different kind of machine, whether a virtual or a real machine on which different kind of products need to run. But in general, there could be different kind of databases, or different kind of a front end application, a Java Spring Boot or whatever. Each of them could have their own libraries, and one particular code or a product dependency maybe is not matching with the other. And the usual behavior in IT world, where we say it works on my machine, I don't know what is the problem in production, usually what the developer says. This was a problem which was heavily being faced by industry. But DevOps, or when you are trying to develop things faster, it took this problem to a new level, and you needed some solution where you could do the encapsulation. So then a product was developed by Google in-house for managing this. So it was called the Docker. So basically the Docker was developed as a concept, which is a containerization concept. You can always, whenever you think of a Docker container, you can consider it like, think of the analogy of shipping container. So rather than giving your applications, which is database, or which is a front end kind of an application, or whatever it is, a website, rather than delivering the final artifact of your build, which is like, in case of Java, like a war file or whatever you have, rather than delivering that, and depending on the machine on which that application is getting deployed, because you need, let's say, some kind of a version of Java, some kind of a web server, if all those dependencies are not met, it is highly possible that your particular web application, let's say a WAR file, will work for your machine as an example, but it may not work on another machine which has a slightly different version of Java or whatever dependent OS libraries and all. So all said and done, with the erstwhile approach of delivering the final artifact, you left a lot of scope for what people could do with individual configurations of the underlying software. So how Docker helped is, Docker kind of made a package application into which what you could do, rather than just giving your final artifact of your build, you could create a full container, and with that container, inside that you could create all your dependencies. So I will give you an example, because as I said, slides don't help. So as part of this program, even you will experience this. We will create our own images, we will create our own containers. But just to show you the demo how with this Docker platform it would work, like developer, rather than just building the final artifact, he will create an image of whatever this, which will have its own version of Java installed, an own small version of OS, and a own version of web server, and on top of it your own application, whatever it is, whether a war or a database, whatever example you can think of. And rather than just delivering the end product, you will deliver a encapsulated image, and anybody can take that image and run it. So basically, two concepts I just want to expose you to for Docker, like, image versus container. So image is more like a template which a developer will create, and a running instance of that image becomes a container, which is the example that I gave you, which is the analogy to the containerization world. So after setting up this brief concept, let me show you a demo. So I created an app for today based on a Ubuntu OS. It needs a Java version. So let's say I took Java version 8. It needs a web server like Tomcat, and eventually it has a WAR file. So if I want to develop in pre-containerized world and deliver this, most probably I would deliver only the Java application as an example, the WAR file. And I would depend on individual persons, or the production machine, to have its own version of OS, own version of Java installed, own version of web server installed, and a WAR file which I have given. Now with this, I am not having control over all this. Of course, I can give instructions that please see to it that your Java is 1.8. Please see to it that your Tomcat is whatever 9.0.39 version, because my war, I have tested with those version of Java and the web server. But I cannot be 100% sure that this will work. So let me show you. To give this demo, I used one of the cloud platform, created a base machine of Ubuntu, and installed my application, because of which I needed to install Java, I needed to install Tomcat, I needed to copy that war. All that is already done on one machine. Just to show you what the application looks like, let me quickly go over and first show you. It's a very small app to kind of make you experience the program. So I wrote a small calculator program for, so it is something like this. You can add two numbers, but this program is running with individual version of Java and Tomcat installed on this particular machine, which I have started, okay, which is this IP 104.197 and everything. Now, let me show you the real power of Docker containerization. So what I did, I started another machine. All it needs is something like a Ubuntu as an OS. Of course, it needs something called the heart of the Docker daemon. So I installed just Docker daemon. There is no separate Java on it. There is no separate Tomcat on it. And I am not delivering war. Instead, I deliver in one shot what we call an image, which is having its own version of OS. I installed Java. So you will experience creating such an image using a Java Spring Boot as part of this program. We will create a Java based Apache Tomcat and war, everything together on another machine, which is this Ubuntu machine. To prove my point, I will just show you also quickly. Let's say this is the machine. Is Java installed on it? there is no Java on it. Okay, so you can see Java is not installed, but yes, Docker daemon is installed. There is no Tomcat on it. Let's say on port 8888 as it is highlighting. I can show to you that there is no Tomcat on this machine. If I take the IP of this machine and go to 8888 and calculator, you will see there is nothing. So practically there is no calculator app, there is no Tomcat, there is no Java, because all I need is the Docker daemon. And I have created an image with all these dependencies. So you can see how much more control I have over the environment in which my application is running. With just one single command, I will start an instance of Tomcat with its own version of Java and everything. All I will say is something like Docker run. I will use some options, which anyway, as part of program, the real program we explain, but out here in the interest of time, I will just give an image that I created, which is coming from somewhere in the internet, and I will say run. So basically this image of Docker has all these, the basic OS libraries, the Java version, the Tomcat, and my war. All I need to do is run this, and basically it will get it from something like a hub.docker.com, which is a repository of images, and all are slightly advanced concept. They need some background, but just quickly, I wanted to show you that how fast it is. So this machine, without having anything, practically just with one command, let me go back and refresh this screen. If everything goes well, you will see this application up and running very similar to this. You see, basically, only thing is it is running on some kind of a Dockerized platform. So this was just a quick demo of how a container world helps you with some quick context. You can start as many containers as much with different ports or whatever. So it is highly flexible. So just with this, I finish my demo and we are open to any questions that you have. So let's see if there are any questions. I saw something on the chat window. So let's see. For some reason, okay.
Guys, if you have any questions, ask now. Unmute yourself and please ask the questions.
Yeah, guys, you can ask. Even voice is okay. Unmute and please ask based on whatever we have explained to you.
Sir?
Yes, please.
Sir, I have already been introduced to Java, like I have said earlier. So I just want to know that will this course help me to learn Java or on DevOps, or do I need to learn a separate language also? Because I want to use these 2 years effectively so that I'm assured that no matter which company selects me, they can select me in the campus.
I can take
Okay.
question, part one, and Prashant, I will need your help to fill the part two for that.
Yeah, sure, Rama.
So Ansh, yes, we will. So as part of this curriculum, and Prashant, since you're presenting the screen, if you can go to the learning roadmap. So as we who are there,
Sorry, I will move
no
there.
problem. We have a module which is about learning. In the learning roadmap, we have a module for advanced Java concepts. Right. However, since you know a little bit of Java may not be everything of Java, as part of this curriculum, we can, if you take the entire course, right? If you sign up for the full course, we will teach you Java. As I said, we will teach you Java well enough to be able to learn and use that as a language, and also enough to complete this course. So you will get some hand-holding with respect to Java. Again, as Prashant has been stressing, it's one thing to learn Java, and it's another thing to learn and implement Java, use Java to implement the entire CI/CD pipeline, the concepts of hoops, right? So to your primary question, we will teach you Java if you sign up for the full course.
Again, to answer your question related to, whether you will be able to crack all interviews, again, guys, that's a very big sentence to say like any company, but said that, all I can say is having very good knowledge of Java And along with that knowledge of Java, if you have fairly good idea about the DevOps tools, technologies, the cloud, the Dockers, and the Kubernetes, you can only increase your probability of cracking an interview. There is no 100% guarantee that any program in the world can give you. Forget about this program. But said that, it's all the question of increasing the probability and having the right relevant knowledge which industry will need. So industry surely needs some kind of a programming language. Now remember, if you know Java very well, let's say if your company happens to use Python for whatever matter. So now again, we cannot tell you that guys, you should have learned Python before. In general, if you know one programming language, you have an inherent advantage over, in the sense that you can learn a new language, because this is an era where things keep changing very fast. So just like DevOps needs to develop things very fast, that is why it came. Remember, it is an era in which you will need to keep learning new and new things. No one program can help you forever. Remember, while we are talking about Dockers, Kubernetes, new tools are coming on top of it. Like, Kubernetes is coming, Helm is coming. For cloud, Terraform is coming. So new tools keep coming. All is a question of how fast you can keep learning, unlearning, and keep on learning concepts to stay relevant in the industry, because skill set will keep on changing. Just having a Java knowledge or a very good Java knowledge will not take you very long in industry. And even learning all these concepts, is that the end of it? Surely not. You will need to gain expertise on the individual tools, technologies, depending on where do you want to make your career. Even getting to know all these tools in depth, even just Kubernetes will take you very long, because each of these tools have their own learning journey, and you have to undergo subject to need of it as part of your job profile or to make yourself more relevant. I hope that answers your question.
I think that make perfect sense, Prashant.
So I also have another question. So I had also joined another course, and the biggest disappointment was that the trainers over there were not at all supporting. Like, he used to get irritated whenever I used to ask something. He was not supporting me in solving the exercises which I had to do in the course. So I just want to know that, will I experience this in this course as well, or no?
I can take that question. It's a fantastic question, right? And that's one of the
Beautiful.
frustrating. Sorry?
Go ahead.
A fantastic question, Ansh. I can take that question. So yes, that's one of the very common frustrations in any training program. You as a student face that, we as professionals can also face that, right? And that's where the experience comes into picture. We have conducted trainings for several years now, and we understand what does it mean to learn, to be a student, to be on this side of the table and also be on that side of the table. So hence how we have carved out this program itself, right? So Prashant is one set of the trainers that you get, right? Who will actually teach you advanced concepts of the technology. He is not going to be available with you for the full day. He is someone who will come, teach you for 2 hours and go away. Who is going to be there throughout the day? We also have an additional staff deputed just for this reason. We have appointed and hired people just to help you through the day in your assignments, in your questions. Prashant, and these people are equally capable to take a class if Prashant is not available. It's just that Prashant comes with a lot of industry experience, which our senior technology trainers do not have. So Prashant's edge is that he knows the technology, he knows industry, and he knows how to merge those together. And that's what makes him such a fantastic trainer. So what happens when you have doubts in simple things, right? You get stuck in your assignments, as you said, or you want to know the same concept again and again. Prashant may not have availability to support those repeat questions. And that's where we have a whole chain, a framework of something called, of a title called Senior Technology Trainer, which is just a job role, which emphasizes on the fact that be there to help the students get through. Principal technology trainer will come teach you and go away. Senior technology trainers will be there to handhold you through the entire journey. And as I said, this program is for 3 to 4 months. And as Prashant gave you some idea of the concepts that you will learn. So he will come and teach you concepts, but our trainers will actually help you get through the assignments and also help you get through the assessments. So as we mentioned, we have evaluation every 2 weeks. So in this evaluation, for example, you figure out that, a certain concept is very weak. I do not know how to code very well. I understand the concepts very well. How do I practice my coding more again and again and again? Fine, I was able to perform one demo or one assignment that Prashant gave, but I'm still not very comfortable. No problem. Our senior technology trainer staff is going to give you more assignments, handhold you to complete those assignments, right? And as a result, you will get more comfortable. So certainly one thing for sure, get assured over here that you will not be disappointed in terms of lack of support. We do not get irritated by repeat questions because I am personally a very detail-oriented person. I lead very, very big projects, really huge transaction deals with my customers, and I'm still very detailed. Anything that I do doesn't stop under 10,000 lines of written documentation on how to execute. Of course, there I'm talking a few $1 million. Over here, we're talking a few thousand rupees. We are not going to have a 10,000 line documentation on execution. The point that I'm trying to make over here is that we are very detail oriented. And once we are very detail oriented, you need to work to figure out those details. That means I am myself asking those repeat questions. So as the founder and CEO of this organization, if I am someone who is very detail oriented, I expect my entire organization to behave the same way, to be aligned with me and my execution approach. So the entire team that I lead is driven by the vision that I have for this organization. And so Ansh and other participants on this call, rest assured that nobody in this team is going to get irritated by your repeat questions. If there is any incident like this that you face on the ground, you're very, very welcome to contact me directly. And I take care of every person, whether they are in my execution teams in the projects or they are in my training teams. We are new in India, but we have run these programs in other parts of the world, and our principles of execution have stayed the same. So if you're uncomfortable in certain technology, we will teach you Java to come to a level. Java may get you a job, Java may not get you a job, right? What is it within this framework of this program that can help you get a job? We will ensure you understand, you get it. Once you complete this course, you are comfortable, right? You can project yourself as a reputed, I would not say classified, but yes, someone who understands DevOps well, has executed a project, can demonstrate and stand up to the reputation that they're coming up with. So Ansh and other students, that should not be a point of concern. Very open to your policy here with the employees that I have here in Canada and the team that I'm building in India. You will never face that with my teams.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, I have a question. How many projects will we as a student be a part of in this course?
Okay, great question, right? So we have a plan to do something what we call as the capstone project / assured internship, which will let you build a big project at the end of this curriculum, which will be a touch point of all the modules put together and see how the industry is going to leverage all these concepts into one single project, right? That is one complete internship assignment that you will do. Right. Along with that, we also have, since I said that we have an a la carte pricing options available, wherein we have these modules available on its own. We also do assignments for each module. So you will do multiple projects as part of each module, and then one big project as part of the entire course. And that one big project will tie all the projects together and may not even tie all the projects. Sometimes we also like to give a unique assignment at the end of the course that will make you think, right? Okay, how do I do this? If I'm given a business problem in my project and I have a team lead who is our senior technology trainer to help me, how will I complete it? So Ansh, to give you a number of projects that you will execute might not be appropriate, but I can assure that you will execute more than 5 projects in this course.
Ma'am, I also have one more question. Ma'am, will this course prepare us for campus interviews like TCS, Infosys, and AM Docs, etc.?
So great, right? Yes, Prashant, can we go to the first slide? If you may please scroll the screen. Right. So we do help. Yeah, we do help provide help with respect to your placements. So what we are doing in India, particularly, we don't need that in other geographies so much, but understanding how the Indian dynamics work and getting some expertise from the HODs in operating in the India region, right? So what we have picked up is that students need some help to get connected with the right people. So just as an example of how we network here in North America is way easier for us, at least directly and somewhere on a personal level, right? I have about 5,000 people that I work with on in any given year, right? So I have those connections whom I talk to maybe for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or at least have some level of engagement in a year. So that gives me a very big number from whom I can ask for help and they can ask me for help, right? Likewise, we have other members of the team who are very well connected with other members of the industry. So we will help you get connected to the right people. We'll help you get connected to the recruitment events that happen. We'll also establish a good resume for you so that your skills that you have acquired as part of this course are accurately reflected. What we'll also do is we'll help you get through the job interview to the level that we will prepare you for a job interview. Ultimately, it's up to you to perform in a job interview and get selected, be it to Amdocs or Oracle or TCS or Infosys. We can help you connect. We can help you get to the right recruitment events. We can help you write a good resume, but it's up to the student to perform. And that goes everywhere, right? As Prashant rightly said, that no technology or tool in this world can make you successful until you have that zeal to learn constantly and improve and build on the skills that you have acquired so far. You know core Java, you know advanced Java, but if you do not know how to implement and convert that into a project, it's only of little good. So same thing here, we will get you there. It's for up to you to perform. However, if you perform and you're selected, we will help you with the on-job support. So there, what we do is that once you get into a job and for the first few weeks of your job while you're getting settled, we will ensure that you look good in your job place. So you are able to speak the language that the industry expects you to speak, right? So we do, again, that comes as at an additional cost. But yes, we do provide on-job support or to the students or to the course participants who get jobs in the technologies that they learn from us. Does that help?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Sure. You're welcome.
I have Prashant. This is Abhishek, by the way. You were part of Amdocs, right? And you were part of that boot camp kind of thing. So what kind of process you were following, Prashant? You have a huge experience on that side, right?
Yeah, guys, I was director in the Amdocs, and of course, I resigned in this Jan only. So I have been part of multiple campus placement drives. So believe me, guys, all said and done, the industry surely understands and they would love to get people with this kind of a, let's say, course, if it could get us. Because when we were taking interviews, we were more looking as to how keen the person is, and in general, the questions that we were asking were more around the projects that the person has done, that how much he or she is detail oriented. And if your resume would mention things like, you know, DevOps and Dockers and Kubernetes, and if you would have done, let's say, a capstone project, as Rama said, this kind of helps you steer your interview in general in a direction. Because in this era of connectivity and Google being there and Stack Overflow and these sites, nobody expects you to know these concepts by heart, all of them. But if you understand these tools, technologies, and if you can prove that you have been learning over and above what your curriculum was asking you to learn, if you show that kind of a attitude, it is surely a big advantage in getting selected, because that is what the industry is looking for. Because in general, all said and done, eventually lot of learning which is industry related is going to happen only after you become part of the organization. The what we curriculum we have learned and over and above what we have learned is only help us steer the interview in the direction where we can prove that we have been doing a lot of learning and a proactive learning. If you show that proactiveness, the probability of getting selected by any company drastically increases. So that's all I can say.
Thank you, Prashant. Thank you, Prashant. Anyone else has any questions?
Yes, I have one.
Yeah.
Okay.
By
So
the way, your good name, please.
hello, sir. This is Ruchira Patil.
Okay. Go ahead, Ruchira.
Okay. So the slide showed that the first step is advanced Java. I just wanted to ask that will the basics will be taught? Like kind of I'm not so comfortable with Java. I have learned like C, C++ and all. Like I'm still learning it. I'm just a first year engineering student. So I just wanted to ask, will the basic concepts be cleared?
Yes. Ruchira, I'll take that question for you. Yes, we will teach you core Java, basic concepts of Java as a freebie if you enroll for the complete course. If we put the slide on screen share mode, Prashant, you will see something written out there in stars. Students will be briefly trained on the prerequisites if needed. And we do understand that students who are in the engineering years before fourth year, right, not the final year students, do need a brush up of the core Java concepts, basic concepts, and how to write a good Java program before we deep dive into concepts of multi-threading and advanced concepts.
Okay, thank you.
Prashant, one more thing, like, as all these students are asking the same questions, like, what do you think about how much Java we should know before get into the CI/CD pipeline? Or if I know something like, I'm good with the C, C++, or I know a little bit of Python. So how does it going to help me to understand CI/CD pipeline and cloud concepts?
Okay, Avi, so let me answer this question, guys. So I have been running the DevOps course with multiple organizations and both the corporate and open public batches. In general, having a programming knowledge of any tool technology surely helps, but I have been running all these CI/CD concepts and the cloud and the Dockers and Kubernetes and GitHub and Jenkins program because remember, in IT world, not everybody is developing. Okay, there is a big scope of work, especially for QA people. Of course, with DevOps coming, everything is getting into code, so even that needs coding skill. But there is a big job support like the operations people and all who may know something else like a shell script or somebody knows a YAML or something or JSON. So the technologies keeps on changing and the stack, because eventually if you want to practice containerization, even without knowing Java, you can survive this program. But yes, having a basic knowledge of Java and some kind of a Spring Boot or a web application framework is sufficient to kind of experience the DevOps, because remember, eventually the underlying language may change from a project to project within the same company also. So, and not everybody is expected to know. So language has its own significance, provided you are trying to make your career purely in the development space and want to do only coding. But in this big world of a software development life cycle, coding is whatever 10, 15, 20%, rest 60, 70, 80% is scope, which is beyond coding, for which having some kind of a development language experience helps to understand the concept like variables or the loops or the if conditions and for loop, while loop. But how they will be applied in any of these tools would be very different, and the programming language helps you only understand those concepts, like as Rama said, oops or something, class versus variable. Having that kind of a basic understanding is sufficient to kind of experience and excel in software development lifecycle like DevOps.
Thank you, Prashant. Thank you. Anybody else, any questions? Yes, please. If you have any questions, you can ask now. That's a good time.
Okay. Wonderful then.
For now.
Yeah, sure. Actually my number is 9730465899. I'm posting on the same chat window. Give you a brief about myself. I'm working as a DevOps engineer. My past experience was a DevOps engineer I was working in NextGen. At that time when I was working, so we are not having that much of a brief knowledge about the Java concepts, but with the help of shell scripting and all those things, we have run multiple modules Ansible. With the help of Ansible, we have deployed, we have patched the system. So it's not necessary for you to know each and every concept briefly, like deeply, but if you have any knowledge in that, yeah, it is a well enough for you, like writing any if loop. If the OS is if OS is Windows, then deploy on that thing. If OS is Ubuntu, then deploy on that thing. So these only the prerequisites are required to learn the DevOps things basically. So I'm writing my number also. If you want to contact the office, I'm available from Monday to Friday over there. Even on Saturday also till 2:30, I'm available over there.
Yeah. Can you just give the number slowly, a little bit? Last time you have given a little bit. Just tell the number 2 digits at a time.
Sure. Yeah, I have written on the chat window. Please, you can check. It is a 9730465899. That is Pranav the hacker. I am available over there. Please, if you want to contact, if you want a brief discussion on the DevOps, what are the things of the DevOps? So I can give you all the brief and why you choose the DevOps. Even though I will give you the main reason, because it's trending on industry basically. Even though small scale industries also are adapting the DevOps things currently. So it's basically for the Nagpur peoples, it is a golden chance for us. Like if the technology has been comes to nearby us, so that is the things we can learn. And thank you. Yeah, you can contact me. Yeah.
Thank you. Over to you, Rama.
No, thank you so much. Thank you, gentlemen, for the great contact information. I've also posted the contact information in the chat of additional phone numbers and email addresses that we have. Please reach out to us if you have any questions. And again, as we said, we have been reiterating that it doesn't cost to get a personal counseling. So give us an opportunity, get an opportunity to understand what works the best for you, what is right for you, right? And how does it actually stream into your overall career goals? So thank you so much for taking time on your weekend to talk to us and attend this webinar. Thank you to all those who presented and attended very actively, and those otherwise, if you would want to drop your email addresses in the chat window, please do so. We can write back to you, write back to us. So stay in touch. Thank you so much for your time. Have a good rest of your weekend.